This is Talking Bullish, the new Bradford Bulls podcast. With your hosts, Laura Micklefield
and Alan Raisin. This week, in the absence of a Bradford Bulls game, we're reviewing the action from Wembley on Sunday. We're talking about the week's news, and we'll finish off with a preview of the game against York. Welcome to another episode of Talking Bullish. We had a bit of a week off from the Bulls. However, a great Challenge Cup final day.
Yeah, really enjoyed the Challenge Cup matches, to be fair. I think most of the Bradford players, so I've seen on social media, have had a well-deserved holiday this week, so they were probably, might have been glad that they didn't get in the 1890 Cup final.
Yeah, I expect so.
I watched both the Challenge Cup matches.
Yeah, it was low scoring and tense, wasn't it? Well, the men's match was, the women's not so much, but the men's match, very close and tense. And I was pleased for Hull KO in the end. I thought they were a good winner.
Yeah, I were really pleased. I kind of, obviously, you go in as a neutral, but you usually pick a team that you think, I want them to win. And I suppose with kind of more Bulls connections, I were going for Hull KO. I was really pleased for Elliot Minchella, captain the side to the Challenge Cup win. Unfortunate, obviously, that he's no longer one of our players, but, you know, that's the consequence of liquidation, unfortunately. But, yeah, I was really pleased for him, and I know Doro didn't get to play, but he was 18th man, and obviously seen he was there celebrating with the players and got a medal and all the rest of it. So yeah, it was nice to see that. I thought it was a great match. Like I say, low scoring, but lots of good defending. And I mean, I was watching it thinking that it just wasn't Hull KR's day compared to all the other matches that I've seen them play this year. But just
managed to pull it out of the bag at the end.
Yeah, I think they kind of did a Bradford, to be fair, with what we've been doing on the past few matches. Like I say, late scores, but it's I suppose it's the proof that it's never over till it's over. Yeah,
going back to the women's game, as I say, slightly more one-sided. A lot of good tries there, though. I'd say I missed the tries really in the other two games, but the women's final definitely made up for the lack of tries elsewhere.
Yeah, it was brilliant. I really enjoyed it. I do enjoy watching the women's matches when they do get showcased. I hope more do end up on telly. I always think that if I were a few years younger, I might be there, but I did play as a child, but in my day you weren't allowed to play once you got to high school, which is a shame. But I'm glad to see that obviously women's rugby league is growing now, and that people are getting the opportunity to play on a stage like Wembley. So yeah, brilliant.
And then I was just going to say, of the 1895 Cup final, actually I didn't enjoy that one quite as much. Have you seen the replay of it?
I didn't watch it, to be fair, but obviously I saw the score, and I don't think there was any tries, were there? No,
it was 4 points apiece, both goals.
Yeah, and they went to golden points. So yeah, I've heard it was a good quality match, but obviously I think you would like to see some tries if you've gone down to see your team at Wembley, but I suppose it shows that either it were two terrible attacking sides or two really great defences. So I'm thinking it was great defences by what I've kind of read and seen about the match. But obviously with Bradford not getting there, wasn't overly interested in watching, to be fair.
No, that's fair enough. And then on Bulls news, then there was a great announcement yesterday about some weather-related incidents hitting Bradford this week.
Yeah, the hurricane, yeah. Conrad Hurrell on an initial 2-week loan. That implies to me that maybe Gill is injured. Obviously we know he went off at Doncaster, but didn't know how long it was going to be an injury for, so my assumption would be at least 2 weeks. I wasn't expecting it. It's not a signing I expected, and I can't say I've seen him play recently, but I know that obviously he spent a few seasons at Leeds, and then went to Saints, and I think he's been on dual reg for Swinton recently, but he's been overcoming injury. But I think Brian No-ble did say that he's now fully fit and ready to go, so fingers crossed if he's back to how he was in the days that I saw him at Leeds. He'll make quite an impact. So yeah, let's wait and see. Hopefully he'll be in the squad on Sunday.
Yeah, and he certainly seemed keen from his social media posts to get training with the team. So that's exciting.
Yeah. He seems keen to be with the Bulls, which is good. And I think when you look on social media, again, you get kind of mixed reviews to things, and other people are kind of thinking, why didn't we go for the option of Jaden Myers back? Seeing as they said when he was signed to Wakefield that there would be a clause to say if he wasn't being used that we could loan him back. But I assume they just thought Conrad were a better option, or maybe Jaden isn't available. But either way, obviously it'd always be nice to see Jaden back, because I think he's a fan favourite, being a Bradford Academy product and such. But I'm looking forward to seeing Conrad Hurrell. I mean, obviously it's a shame if it does mean that Gil is injured. But I'm sure hopefully he'll be back fighting fit at some point too.
Yeah, and on the subjects of training, you've got a special treat for the early bird season ticket holders this week, haven't you?
Yeah. So myself and my dad and my nephew have got early bird season tickets, so we're all going to the open training session on Friday, so that should be good. I'm looking forward to it. Trying to convince you for next season to be an early bird, aren't I, Alan?
Yeah, I was disappointed I can't get a multi-game ticket, well, not for the seated section where we sit anymore this season, but so maybe I need to just commit earlier in the season next time.
Yeah, I know you're a busy man, Alan, I know, so you couldn't always commit to the matches, but I think more often than not you're there with us, and you're going to be there on Sunday as well, aren't you? You need to buy your match day ticket.
Yeah, that's still up for debate. I'm trying to get the green light for that.
Fingers crossed then. I'm sure I can report back if not, but hopeful that you'll be there with us to watch that one, because it's setting up to be quite a tasty affair. Well,
tell us, Laura, who is our opponent?
York Knights.
Oh, we've played them quite recently, haven't we?
Yes, so we might all remember that one. Yeah, I think that obviously I've seen Bradford Bulls media and the pages and such kind of bigging this up as a big revenge match. But obviously I think York is going to have a point to prove as well.
Yeah, definitely. Do you think the home advantage will play a part this time?
I mean, I would hope so, but I mean, Bradford's away following's so good that it sometimes feels like a home match at away matches anyway.
Yeah, it definitely was good when we were at the LNER the other week.
Yeah, and sometimes the Odsal atmosphere can fall flat a little bit if you kind of not got the roof on the stadium. I know they say that you can't hear the songs and things such as that, but if you get plenty in there and you get I find that if you get opposition teams actually bringing fans, it does make it loads better, and I think there is more of an atmosphere and people tend to get more vocal.
Yeah, and do you think York are likely to bring a good following?
I think so. I'd hope so anyway. I don't think it'll be a Bradford following like we took to them, but I do hope with obviously the trajectory they're on, just winning the 1895 Cup and having a good run of games and filled with confidence, that you'd think that plenty of fans would choose to travel to watch it. So I'm hoping it's set up for a busy afternoon at Odsal, hopefully. Should
be good. And obviously, as you say, coming off the back of the win of the 1895 Cup, well, what does that mean? They'll obviously be full of confidence, but that little bit more tired. Who's to say who will have the advantage on the form and the rest in the legs this week? What do you think?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I think sometimes you think a week off is beneficial, and obviously they've rest and relaxation ready to go, but then sometimes you think having the consistency and playing every week can also be an advantage. I suppose it depends which way you look at it. I suppose it might depend if we get the win or not, to which one we're saying. But they do tend to be sometimes like a hangover from things such as that, like the Challenge Cup final and the 1895 Cup and things in the past where the winners have then kind of lost their next match. So you could kind of think, well, maybe that'll be a good thing for Bradford, but at the same time I don't think York will be saying that. I think they'll be definitely up for, look, we beat you once, we'll beat you again. And they've beat us at Odsal before as well. They can do it either place, but I know that it's not their coach who's there anymore, but their previous coach had a real issue with the size of the pitch at Odsal.
Okay.
And that it was too small, and that the team couldn't play how they wanted to play. But as I've said all along, no matter the size of the pitch, both teams have to play on it, so I don't think you can use that as an excuse.
No, fair enough. And just thinking about the extra size of the Wembley pitch, it'd be quite a change from last weekend for them.
Yeah, just a bit. So yeah, obviously it changes the style of play as well, and I think the weather also will have a big impact, because I know that I think it was a wet and miserable day at the weekend, which sometimes it can be low scoring matches because it's all kind of up the middle and keeping things safe, whereas if they play more expansive rugby, then we might see some more tries. But I haven't looked at the weather forecast for the weekend, but hoping that we get a nice dry sunny day. It
would be nice, yeah. And what do we think about the sort of team that Bradford might put out?
Yeah, I suppose with having a week's break, it'll depend on the injuries. I don't, obviously with Conrad Hurrell being signed, I've got the feeling that Gill will not be featuring, and obviously Donaldson, we don't know the severity of his injury either, so I'm not sure if he'll feature or not. I'm not sure about Mason. I know that he was off last time for, it said, just personal reasons, so maybe he will be back in the fray. Hoping maybe if we get Mason and Skur and Michael all playing, then we've got kind of a strong pack to set the platform for the backs. So yeah, it's going to be another conundrum about who's going to be in the halves as well. Yeah, thinking, I don't know if Luke Hooley, it didn't sound like something serious, so I would imagine he will be back and will feature, meaning Meadows won't have to cover that position anymore, meaning, yeah, who's going to be in the halves? Like I say, I think I would stick with Lilly and Keys. I think I've said that before, but I've got a feeling that he'll switch to Meadows, so I feel like it might be Meadows and Keys, and he'll use Lilly as the interchange hooker. But watch this space, I suppose.
Yeah, and going back to last week's podcast, let's hope that Michael Lawrence doesn't have to play a full 80 minutes this week.
Yeah, hopefully he's managed to get a bit of a rest over the last week off. I mean, I suppose they maybe in the end might have been grateful that they didn't get that Wembley trip, because it might have been quite tiring after the effort they had to put in on the Doncaster match, and I suppose it's meant that we can focus on the league. But yeah, I think he will get a rest this week. Obviously, I think he'll be playing, but but I think I think hopefully some of the other forwards will relieve the pressure off him this week.
Very good.
So, seeing as we haven't got a match to review this week, we thought we might fill the time just having some conversations of things that have been on social media. I know they've kind of put a post out saying who we think the top 3 players have been so far this season. So I thought it might be fun if me and Alan both kind of say who we think it'll be. For us, and why. Do you want me to go first, Alan?
Yes, please, Laura.
So it's difficult because obviously I usually would probably put Skur up there in my top 3, but I know he's had a bit of injury strife this season, so I'm controversially not going to put Skur there, but I do think he's obviously one of the top performing players and always is, getting the Hitman Award and all the rest of it. But for this season, I think I'm going to go for Lilly as my top. I think he plays his heart out all the time. You can see the passion in his play. I think wherever he's been put and whatever position he's playing, he plays at his best. He's been at halves, obviously he's been at hooker. He'll cover anywhere he's needed. It wouldn't surprise me if he'd go to prop at one point. But so I just think he's consistently performed throughout the season so far, and really versatile. So I think I'll go for Lilly as one of the top 3. My second choice would probably be Blake. I think he has been a brilliant addition to the side. I know that he got quite a lot of stick in Super League, I think, for when he was playing for Saints, and they didn't really get the best reaction, but I think he's been brilliant since he's come to us. I think defensively is great. Some hits he puts on, I think we sit probably 6 or 7 rows back in the stand and you can hear the hits. And yeah, attacking wise as well, I think that edge in general is brilliant, and I think he's been one of the consistent attacking performers as well, so I think he's one of the signings for us this time, and I'd say Blake. And then my third choice would be Fulton. I think once, obviously when we first signed him, I think he was scoring lots of tries and people seemed to notice him and he got a lot of kind of attention for it, but I think people don't really see the other stuff he does. You see the amount of tackles that he's involved in and the things kind of he does that's under the radar. I think you don't always kind of think of putting him in kind of top players. I just think it's not all about try scoring, and obviously he's got quite a few recently as well, but in the matches where he's not scoring tries, he's doing a hell of a lot defensively, and I think I think he's been really consistent for us, and we'd be a different looking team without him. So yeah, I think they'd be my top 3.
Very good. Well, I have to come clean. As you say, I am quite new to the sport of rugby league, so I think if I were to pick any players, it would just be guesswork. So I'm not even going to go there. I'll leave that to the experts amongst us. But thank you for that. I think it's obviously been a great start to the season. The team are playing really well, so I'll just round that out with that, really.
Yeah, go for the whole team. But yeah, it's looking to be, is it 8 wins on
Let's
the
hope.
now? So fingers crossed, we might get 8 wins on Sunday, but we shall see.
I would say if this is our 8th win, it might be one of the hardest, the most difficult wins we'll have had for the season so far. I know we said that at Doncaster, but I think on paper that should have been an easy win, and circumstances made that hard for us. Whereas this one, we know it's going to be hard from the get-go.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. I think if we make the same errors that we usually make and don't kind of defend them, and if we have any kind of high penalty count at all, they will punish us, and I think they will get the win. But if we can cut the errors down to a minimum, or like No-ble says, if you make them, you defend them, and we can keep the penalty count low, I think we've got a really good shot. Like you say, we're at home, somewhere where we used to. I think it's just set to be a really good match. Obviously, we saw what it was like when we went to York, and I'm really looking forward to it. I always looked forward to the Bradford York matches anyway. I think it's been an ongoing rivalry since we were in the Championship, and it's one I always look forward to. I know it's kind of close to when we've played them before, but I suppose it makes it all the more interesting.
Definitely, yeah. Great. Well, we'll be back next week to review that game, whether I attend or not. But,
hopefully.
Hopefully. But we'll definitely have a full roundup of that game, and then looking towards the next game after that.
Yep, that's great. So we're on the probably final section of our episode for this week, which is our new game that we've been playing.
Bull or No-ble.
Thanks, Alan. So this time it's my turn to pose Alan with the questions and see if he can answer which are bull and which are No-ble. So my first statement is Brian No-ble played for Bradford Northern between 1979 and 1993. My second statement is Bradford played at Valley Parade in 2000 and 2001. And then my third statement is the Bulls left Odsal Stadium in 2019 to play at the Dewsbury Rams Stadium and returned in 2021.
Okay, right. I'm feeling good about these, actually. They're good questions.
Right.
I have been reading a little bit about the history, so I do know that there were problems occupying Odsal Stadium over the years, and also that the Bulls have moved around many stadia during their history. So I do think that they played at the Dewsbury Rams between, was it 2019, did you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is true. I also know that they played at Valley Parade, obviously the current home of Bradford City FC.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you when that was. And then as for Brian No-ble playing for Bradford Bulls between 1979 and 1993, that's a lot. That's 14 years. That's a lot. Surely that's not. And just quickly, what were the years that you suggest they played at Valley Parade?
2000 and 2001.
It's tricky between those two, I would say. I'm pretty sure that they played at Jubilee Rams between those years. But as for those two, I think that 14 years is a long playing career, so I'm going to say that is Bull.
Well, I'm happy to be proved wrong if there's any listeners or any fact checkers, but with my fact checking, that is actually No-ble.
Oh, no.
The Bull statement is that Bradford played at Valley Parade between 2000 and 2001. They did play at Valley Parade, like you were correct in that, but it was 2001 and 2002. So I was pretty mean with that one, to be fair. But in fairness, Alan, like, you might be new to the world of Bradford Bulls, but you're better at the facts than I am, to be fair. I'm probably more better with what's actually going on in the field currently rather than the facts of the past. But yeah, it was a really good effort, so well done.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And come back next week when I will be posing 3 statements back to Laura. Right, well, yeah, so that's all we have for this week. So make sure you follow the Bulls on Sunday and come back and listen to our Wittering next week.
Yeah, as always, thanks for listening. And yeah, if you want to give us a follow, we are on social media on X, Blue Sky and Instagram. And we've also set up a Facebook page this week.
But we don't really know what we're doing.
Yeah, neither of us has been on Facebook for quite a while, but hopefully we can get some more listeners and see if people like to listen to us, like you say, wittering on about Bradford Bulls news and views. But and also we'd be more than welcome to any kind of comments or suggestions what people would like us to mention or to speak about. But yeah, hopefully we'll get more listeners, and we look forward to any comments that we get.
Yeah, so definitely get in touch, and yeah, you'll hear from us next week. Come on, you Bulls.
Yeah, let's hope for the win on Sunday.
See you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.